Impressed with. When I was looking at the chemistry though between you and he, I didn't really feel that.
I feel like
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book. You know what time it is. We're talking to you guys about Ready to Love. We're dealing with Adriana and Khalfani and about meeting the parents. I want to tell you this thing, man. Adriana was going to choose Khalfani. She had made up her mind, y'all, before she got to that point where she released Rashid. And I'm going to show you some things and break down some real stuff. Guys, if you are new to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on that bell button for notifications of the uploads. And for those of you who are returnees, well, you got the minerals. You got the minerals. You got the minerals. All right, cool. Let's talk about Ready to Love, and let's deal with it. So Adriana chose Khalfani in the very end. If you didn't know that, sorry, spoiler here. But Adriana chose Khalfani, and we saw in my last review I spoke about the fact that Rashid kind of betrayed himself, and so unfortunately, you know, he stuck his limb out and put his eggs into her basket, and in the end got nuked.
Impressed with. When I was looking at the chemistry though between you and he, I didn't really feel that.
But here's the thing, that relationship between herself and Rashid was never going to be the choice she was going to make. It was always the safe option. I'll give you number one example. She actually tells him that when I'm with you, I feel safe.
like with you, I'm so comfortable and I feel like safe, and not like safe in a bad way, like just safe, like this is where I need to be.
And I don't think she meant I felt safe. I think she meant that, but she also meant the fact that, listen, it's very safe. When I'm with you, it's very safe. So yes, one, I feel safe with you in the sense of the fact that I'm never going to be hurt emotionally, physically. I'm going to be well taken care of. You know, we will have a good times, everything like that. It's going to be normal, okay? But you're not my extraordinary, my spectacular. You're not my 20% of men. You're not out of, almost, I want to say out of my league, but you're not my exciting play that I want to go for, right? You know, this is what Rashid is what Russell Wilson is to Future, you know. And so I'm not saying that Khalfani is Future or anything like that, but I'm just kind of saying that excitement is not what you get off the bat straight away. Like when you look at Russell Wilson, you don't think excitement like you do with Future. Right? It doesn't come with that danger. Okay, and that's very, very important. So when she was dealing with Rashid, the thing is, Rashid, unfortunately, and it's not bad because it's the type of woman that he was with, like I keep saying, that Rashid obviously put all his eggs into that basket, okay, and gave her all the cards on the table.
The person's individual business.
Right.
But I've got myself kind of out there dangling without a rope, you know what I'm saying? And I could stand to be, you know, with egg on my face here.
For another woman who generally is cool and not really about the game playing, he would have been fine. That girl would have been like, do you know what? Love it, appreciate it, let's go forward, right? But unfortunately, not in this particular case. Number two, when obviously she spoke to her dad even clocked, that they didn't have this chemistry. He said, listen, Rashid is great, but I never saw the chemistry between yourself and Rashid. Now, that's a big thing for your dad to notice, that there isn't as much chemistry. In fact, I think he confirmed what she already felt, which is that she's got a greater chemistry with Khalfani. What that chemistry is, that little bit more excitement, okay? Again, nothing wrong with Rashid. It's just that Khalfani presents a little bit of danger that he doesn't provide, okay? And so, unfortunately, what Adriana was struggling to explain to Khalfani and to Rashid about why she actually likes Khalfani, I think it's because she wasn't trying to be honest all the way. The truth of the matter is, the reason why she couldn't really explain about why she really liked Khalfani and why she really liked Khalfani to both Rashid and to even Khalfani himself, is that she didn't want to explain the fact that something about Khalfani presents a little bit of danger. Something about Khalfani is the fact that he was one that everybody wanted and she managed to get him. It's exciting, okay? She feels like a winner when she got that. You can't really explain that, okay? It's a bit conceited to explain that, isn't it? Right?
It's just different.
What's so different about, like, me? I was so giddy.
That's the thing I don't have an answer for. And that's what makes it hard to explain.
So she couldn't explain it to both Rashid and to Khalfani. Both of the times when she spoke to him, she struggled to explain why she actually liked Khalfani. And then people jumped to conclusions and said, oh, she only likes him because he's got muscle. No. That's not what it is, right? They've connected, but there is something different to Khalfani than it is to Rashid. And to admit it is to admit something that Rashid can never change. There's an excitement to Khalfani that she can't get from Rashid. It's just that. Nothing else about it. I told you guys about this. That there is alpha, when you meet an alpha male, there is something about them. Alpha males and sigma males are they're different breeds. That's why Jay's also got that energy. I told you about Jay in it. Jay's a sigma male. Something about Jay that is interesting is that when you meet him, it's the mysteriousness. You don't get mysteriousness from Khalfani. You get mysteriousness from Jay. Why? It's the intellect. It's the way that he moves. It's the stalker predator movement. He's not trying to be the king of the jungle. He's trying to assess every option on the table. He doesn't take out enemies by going with brute force. He uses intelligence. That in itself is the way that they present. The way that they present themselves. Again, remember I told you about the fact that Khalfani and Jay would never clash because one's sigma, one's alpha. They complement each other. They don't fight against one another. So there is something about Khalfani that Rashid never had. So unfortunately, someone might say Rashid's an alpha male. Yeah, I'm not even gonna whether he's or not. But I told you this from the very, very beginning that when it comes to competition, because this is a competition now, Rashid isn't in the league of Khalfani and Anthony's. I said this already. And he's not in the same league as Jay even. Because they present in a competition. When we're talking about competition, it really highlights social hierarchy and highlights sexual hierarchy in the way that people flow and move, right? So in comparison, she was struggling to explain that to both Rashid and to Khalfani because she didn't want to be honest about it. Right now, what was really interesting is that the fact that both, in regards to the fact that yes, both people met Adriana's dad, but guess who met whose parents? Rashid didn't bring his sister to Adriana, and Khalfani did bring his parents. That immediately set another precedent, saying, "Rashid, I'm losing Rashid." Already, she was already thinking that from early on, but she was already thinking she's losing Rashid. And then for Khalfani to bring his parents.
Adriana, nice to meet you.
Adriana.
You know, normally you don't meet someone's parents until you know that they're really serious about you.
Nice to meet you.
I don't know what they're gonna think about me. I don't want to.
It was a solidification of what he how he felt about her, right? You bring your parents to the situation, it means you really, really care. Like, who else brought their parents? I don't think anyone else did. Do you know what I'm saying? So he secured it that particular way, right? It showed his intentions versus Rashid saying he's not going to bring his sister, and you know, and not even, yeah, not, you know, though he met her dad, his sister didn't come to meet Adriana. Even a point which I've kind of missed here is this. During the case of when her dad was beginning to interrogate both men, I want you to pay attention. There are two parts in the dad interrogating both men where Adriana defends Khalfani. That told me who she was supporting straight away. There was a question which he asked. He said, a question about Genesis. Since you're a man of the Lord, let me talk about that. Okay, cool. Like, you know, so let me talk about Genesis. The man should cleave to the wife.
That's all right. In the book of Genesis, right, where it talks about that man will leave father and mother and cleave to his wife. What is your impression of that word, cleave?
He knew the whole verse.
Look what Adriana did. Oh, he knows the scripture. He knows it all the way through. Why does she jump in? Then again, when he asked about, obviously as well,
what makes you a human?
What makes me a human?
That's a hard question.
Well, Adriana, I'm just talking.
What makes you human, right? And she was like, she started defending him. I don't know what she said then. I'll play the clip. Started saying something then.
Human, just from your own perspective.
What makes me human?
Yeah.
Nah, I gave you the warning that he is a therapist. So
Right.
And I realized, okay, this girl's defending him. Why is she defending him? Because her heart is set on Khalfani. It has always been set on Khalfani. Rashid was the paperweight. Unfortunately, no beef. It's just that he was always, even though she was screaming, and he made this point, even though she was screaming out, my boyfriend, that was gameplay. No, she really did care for him. She really liked him. She found him attractive. Don't get it twisted. But it wasn't the excitement that Khalfani brought. Do you get me? Interesting. So one thing I picked up about Adriana, like I said, she's a great game player. She obviously understands how to, move in different arenas. So when it came to her parents, I want you to notice the dress sense changed. I want you to notice that straight away. When Khalfani's parents were there, what was she wearing, please? A white top with a skirt, long. Suddenly, where did the red dress go from? Where did the sexy numbers that you wore, the orange top that you wore when you meet in Khalfani at the end? Notice how she changed it. She's very conscious. It's probably because she grew up in church and knew her dad's a pastor and stuff like a minister, sorry, I shouldn't even say it, whatever.
Oh, how you look amazing. Right. Look, we on the same frequency.
Yes.
She's clocked it. So instantly she knows how to flow. That is why, one of the reasons why I think Khalfani finds her very attractive. When someone is able to understand there are different arenas and the way that they must behave changes, it's quintessential. It saves you from having to have that very difficult conversation like, hey, look, my parents, they're a little bit like da-da-da. Like, he might have had that conversation with her. He might have done. We don't know, yeah? He might have had it behind the scenes, right? But the fact of the matter is, we don't know. I'm assuming. So it looks like this girl has understood, okay, I'm going to dress in a certain way. I'm not going to come dress sexy, etc., etc. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and the fact that she had it in her wardrobe in the first place anyway. Do you know what I mean? So, because they weren't allowed to leave. So that means she already had it in her wardrobe. It was a very eye-opening moment for me. I saw, okay, this girl can flow. She knows how to mix it up, right? All right, cool. So she has intelligence, knows how to move in different circles. And then the first question I asked her is, how do you like Cali? Now, this is very interesting. I want to give you an analogy. A light bulb gives off light. And one of the things that is also given off is heat. We don't necessarily need the heat, but we just want the light. But it is a byproduct of when the light turns on. Okay, cool. Now, here's the thing. When obviously this question is asked, her response is so interesting. She giggles, she laughs, she keeps it light, and then she says something. She says, he is awesome, great. But then she goes and says, he's like that with everybody. I'm like, wait, sis, that wasn't the question. The question was, how do you like Khalfani or Cali?
So how'd you like Cali?
I told you when my mom comes.
He's awesome. He's that way with everybody though.
How do you like Khalfani? And then you're saying he's awesome, but then adding on, but he's like that with everybody. That for me was a byproduct of heat out of a light bulb, meaning that this girl has begun to excrete something else that didn't need to be excreted. I believe that at that moment I would like to say that at that moment this is a side effect of you, number one, choosing the guy, and number two, also choosing a guy who is wanted by everybody. Because you had to gameplay to get him, you had to war it to get him, you had to fight some battles to get him, right? Your biggest competitor was Denise, and you finally got rid of her. But in the midst of that, that causes some type of mentality in you. Right? And I wonder if at that moment, because when she says that, it's so interesting. Watch Khalfani's face, almost like a little bit of surprise. Like, what? Like, why are you saying that? Like, everybody wants Khalfani. Don't you want me? Right? That's what the face was. I thought he was saying, like, don't you want me? If you want me, what's the problem here? Why would you mention other people wanting me or other people liking me? Right? And the truth of the matter is, I think at that point, he, for a split second, thought to himself, is this girl going to do what Denise has done?
He's awesome. He's that way with everybody though. Because when he first got here, everybody wanted him.
That's what I was telling you. I don't know. It may be the pheromone, Daddy.
Is this girl going to get jealous? Is this girl going to be like the rest of them? Right? But then he carries on having a conversation. And I wonder if she had a wobble at that moment. She actually asked that question, whether that was an inability to keep all her thoughts within herself. I call it a leak. Sometimes people leak in their body language what they're really thinking. Sometimes people leak what they're really thinking in the way they say certain things. And I wonder if that was a leak from her. And so, I don't know, maybe that's something, maybe I'm looking too deep into it, but I just kind of noticed and I was like, okay, cool. And then obviously he covers it up by saying,
you gotta be careful because Ghanaian men, we let off this irresistible pheromone.
That's what it is.
The Ghanaian men are irresistible. It's a pheromone. And I'm just going to be honest with you guys. Ghanaian guys are great. Let me say it again. Ghanaian guys are great. That's me. All right, listen. So, then they asked another question about, dating someone who has kids already.
I want somebody who has kids. I want a big family and I want kids. Yes.
We have a big family. Family is so important to us.
Right.
We get together quite often.
And she said obviously she wants to have a large family, which is a really big thing. I think both Rashid and Khalfani had children, so it wasn't going to be a tiebreaker. But I think what really helped her really to kind of even more like Khalfani is the fact that they have the family meetings. I know even in her Live of Winter, she mentioned about, you know, Khalfani coming to her door in the morning sometimes to listen, hey, let's pray. You know, he was showing leadership in all areas in that respect, in that area, you know, spiritualness, you know, someone taking the lead in that is very impressive. It's very attractive. And so I think that was a big thing for her as well. So that was important as well. And I want to say that when you see the kind of hug the fact that she got up, and the first thing she did when she got up, when she was leaving, was to go over to the mum and hug. There was no apprehension. There was no fear. You know, she hugged the dad. Like, she just showed a very warmness. And this is what I was saying. And this is one of the things that I think there was a war in the comments in one of Rashid's videos that I was talking to the ladies about this, and it turned a bit of a war. And I was saying to them, this is what we're talking about when us men are talking about peace. Nobody's saying that a woman's going to be your absolute peace. We already know that as Christians that only Jesus can be your peace. That was a given. Didn't think we had to mention that. But the way that Adriana presents herself, as the dad said very, very clearly,
Clean heart and an honest feeling towards people. It comes across. It seems like she's got that positive energy.
Yeah. After Adriana,
she seems like a very happy, bubbly person. She seems very, you know, warm and everything like that. The dad gave her glowing praise. Why? Because the energy she brought. This is what us men want. We want this kind of energy. You understand? Like, we do not want to be warring with you every single minute, which is what he was going to get with Denise. We don't want to have to war with you every minute. You understand? Like, I don't need you to war with me every single second of the day. So if I'm having to war you every single second of the day, I'm not impressed. I'm not going to want to be around that. That for me is kid stuff. You understand? So that energy that she brings, that lightness, brings that warmth, and brings, so men are normally encouraged to grow when they're in a place that is safe. And that's the thing that I think some people don't realize. Adriana presents a space that's safe for him. If they genuinely are going to work it out together, we don't know because it's ready to love. Most people don't work. If they are going to work it out together, she presents an energy that seems to be of a safe space. And for men, that's very essential because we need that space to be able to grow. You understand? We don't need harsh settings to do that. You understand? You're not my mum. You're not my auntie. You're not my sister. So I need that space to grow. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think that she presents that energy as well.
But he's not ready to love me.
what? So what you said?
So, I think that you're the one I want.
Is that the fact that when she told Khalfani at the very end, which is obviously, I've made a choice, I've chosen you. It's almost odd because we've come back all the way round to the original conversation that Khalfani had with her sitting down when Denise was walking past, and he said, listen, you know, basically almost that woman almost come to him in a sense, right? And it's happened again. We're here at the very end, and who's chosen who? It's Adriana choosing him, not him choosing Adriana in a sense. Now, obviously, yes, it can't be helped that that Adriana had two guys, but I think it shows again. You know, I don't think things are coincidences. You know what I'm saying? The fact that he found himself in a situation where the girl was choosing him again once more. So I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But you know, I feel like that. And the last point that she made was really interesting. She said, obviously, I don't feel like Rashid is ready to love me, and I'm like,
but he's not ready to love me.
What?
Adriana, excuse me.
But he's not ready to love me.
Adriana, excuse me. No. Say it properly. You are not ready to love him, and that's all right. There's nothing wrong with that. You saying you're not ready to love him, you're ready to love Khalfani. But when you say I don't think he's ready to love me, it's almost to try and present a picture like he's not good enough. No, it's not that he's not good enough. You just didn't want him, and that's okay. You can't say that he wasn't ready to love you. He put all his eggs in the basket for you. He made you number one throughout the whole entire show. And vice versa for you for a little while. So when you're then having that conversation in the garden with Rashid saying about how you wish it didn't get to this point and you wish obviously the truth of the matter is he just was never your number one. He was never your number one. He will only be your number one if Khalfani never showed interest. That's it. He was a safe bet. he was a great foundation for you to build upon. And that's truth. You know, no beef to her. I don't think it was as bad as Alexis, like I said, because Alexis was ready to war everybody. You understand? But you know, I think obviously she played the game, and I can't hate on the fact that she played the game. The same way I can't hate on the guys playing the game. The guys played the game as well. But Rashid never gave her that oomph, and that's the absolute truth. He never gave her that oomph that she desired and wanted, and that chemistry that she wanted from her. So that's why when they were, like I said, when the dad was talking to them, she defended Khalfani and didn't. And if you watch the way she was so interested in the answers that Rashid was giving, look at the way she's when they're playing pool. Look at the faces that she makes when she's looking at Rashid when he's answering. It's very intense.
First and foremost,
She wants to know. She wants to know what was he gonna say. But with Khalfani, she sat down when he was talking to him, wanting to be close to him. Why? She's defending him. Why? Because she wants to defend her choice. She already made a decision from early, guys. Early. No offense to Rashid. Guys, make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on that bell button for notification of the uploads. We appreciate you guys. Stay locked and stay loaded.